The CEO only took a bite of the steamed apple with honey dates made by the maid, and was shocked to find that it tasted exactly like the one his mother used to make. When he was a child, he and his brother often had digestive issues, and their mother would steam apples with honey dates to ease their pain. The CEO realized that the new maid might be his mother, and also the wife his adoptive father had just married in a flash. A few days ago, the woman's son introduced her to a recently released murderer to arrange a blind date, promising her that the blind date was a wealthy businessman. When the truth came out, the woman tried to run away, but was forcibly stopped by the murderer. At that moment, the chairman of the group, disguised as a security guard, saved the woman and sent the murderer to the police station. The chairman felt a sense of familiarity when he looked at the woman, and instantly memories from 20 years ago flooded his mind. Back then, he was poor and had borrowed money from his boss to treat his mother only to be beaten up. The woman saw this and immediately stopped it, helping him up and wiping the blood from his mouth. Then she gave him a few $100s for emergencies, and without saying a word, turned and left. From then on, the chairman was forever grateful to the woman. Little did he know, they would meet again today. Although the woman did not remember the chairman as the man she once saved, she felt that the chairman was kind and someone she could trust for life. Eventually, the two went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get their marriage certificate. After returning home, the daughter-in-law was furious when she found out the woman had married a security guard, thinking the guard could not provide the $500,000 bride price. She angrily forced the woman to leave the house. The woman pleaded with her son not to drive her away, but her son sided with his wife. The woman had no choice but to drag her suitcase out of the house. Homeless, she could only turn to her newlywed husband for help. At the same time, the CEO found out that his adoptive father had suddenly married a woman from the countryside and was in the middle of a heated argument. Suddenly, the chairman received a phone call from the woman and immediately drove to pick her up, telling the CEO to prepare a house for her. The chairman then took the woman to the old house. Seeing the room was in disarray, the woman immediately began cleaning and organizing. Unexpectedly, she found several luxury watches in the drawer. The chairman hurriedly explained that these were bought for $40. Hearing this, the woman did not suspect anything. The next day, the woman learned from her friend that her house was about to be demolished, and she immediately ran out. She then stood in front of the excavator, resolutely refusing to let the demolition team tear down her old house. She was worried that if the house was gone, her eldest son wouldn't be able to find his way home. At that moment, the demolition team leader took out a demolition contract, saying that everyone in the village had already signed it. The woman looked at the contract in disbelief and realized it was signed by her son. Because the daughter-in-law did not get the $500,000 bride price, the only way to get the money was to demolish the house for a compensation of $500,000. The woman angrily tore up the contract, which infuriated the demolition team leader. Seeing this, her son quickly tried to persuade her, saying that her eldest son might be dead, and the old house was useless anyway. But the mother insisted on waiting for her eldest son to return. In the next moment, the CEO arrived in his car and felt a strange sense of familiarity when he saw the woman. The woman also mistook the CEO for her eldest son, saying, "Son, you're finally back." This led to the demolition team leader reprimanding her, stating that this CEO was the chairman's son. The woman then realized she had mistaken him for someone else. But what she didn't know was that the CEO, like her and her brother, all had identical jade pendants. These were charms she had prayed for in a temple years ago. Yet, after 20 years, none of them recognized each other. The CEO understood that the woman refused to demolish the house because she was waiting for her eldest son. He then offered her a $1 million bank card, thinking this money would make her agree to the demolition. However, the woman said she wouldn't accept even $10 million because no amount of money could bring back her eldest son. Seeing this, the CEO had no choice but to cancel the demolition contract for the whole village, hoping to pressure the woman into agreeing. The villagers, fearing they wouldn't get their demolition compensation, all pressured the woman to apologize to the CEO. However, the CEO demanded that she kneel. Even so, the demolition still didn't happen. In a moment of desperation, the woman rushed to the excavator to stop it. At that moment, the chairman happened to arrive.